Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we are still working on some delicious side dishes to make for your Thanksgiving dinner. Today we're going to be making a delicious homemade macaroni and cheese. If you want to see how I do this, come cook with me and I'll show you how. Now let's get started on those ingredients. You're going to need a variety of cheeses to make sure that your mac and cheese has a rich, delicious flavor. So I'm using mozzarella, sharp cheddar, and Colby and Monterey. Elbow noodles, some olive oil to spray on your pan, salt and garlic salt, butter, your favorite Cajun seasoning, flour, milk, half and half, or heavy whipping cream. Now let's get started. You're first going to want to take your elbow noodles into a boiling water and make sure that they get al dente, not fully cooked through, because they're going to cook also inside the oven whenever we're done putting everything together. Now let's start working on our cheese sauce. We're first going to take a stick of butter and start melting it into a saucepan. We don't want our butter to burn, so we're going to make sure that our saucepan isn't on super high. So you're looking about a medium heat to make sure that everything is getting melted perfectly. Now, once your butter is fully melted, you're going to want to grab your flour and you're going to start pouring it inside of the butter, and you're going to start whisking it to create a roux. Now you don't want to let this sit too long because you don't want it to burn, and you don't want to add your milk in too early because you want to let that flour taste cook. That way your macaroni and cheese doesn't taste like flour, or it's not gritty like flour. So you're just going to want to bring this to a low simmer, and you're just going to want to whisk along the way to make sure that it doesn't burn. It should take about a total of 2 minutes for you to see the bubbling, to get to that perfect consistency that you're looking for before you add your warm milk or half and half or heavy cream. So you're just going to keep on whisking. Make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom, and you'll start seeing the bubbles, and that's whenever you're going to add in your heavy cream or half and half or milk, whichever you decide to use. And then you're going to make sure that that roux or that floury mixture gets all dissolved into the milk. And what you're going to start seeing is you're going to see that your milk is going to start getting thick with that flour mixture, which is the roux. And you're just going to keep on whisking so it doesn't stick to the bottom. And you're going to make sure that it's not on super high so it doesn't burn at the bottom. So once you whisk, you're going to end up seeing it thicken up. You're going to add in some salt and some garlic salt just to give it some flavor. So once you keep on whisking, you'll notice that it'll start thickening. Now the way to tell that your roux or your sauce is ready, if you take the back of a spoon, you'll notice that the sauce coats the back. And that's whenever you know that your sauce is thick enough. So from there, you're going to get your cheese, and you're going to pour some cheese inside there. Not all of the cheese, it's just a little bit of the cheese. And you're just going to start mixing it together. You'll notice that the color starts changing from white to like a light yellow color. You could add more cheese if you'd like to at this point. It's up to you. but more cheese is going to go in whenever we incorporate everything together. Now that our sauce is ready, we're going to get a baking dish and we're going to spray it with olive oil and get our noodles and place it into the baking dish. Or you could do a mixing bowl, it's up to you. But we're going to place it into our dish and we're going to spread it all out. From there, once it's spread out, we're going to get our sauce and we're going to place all of our cheese sauce into our dish with the noodles. Once we added all our sauce, we're going to just make sure that it's mixed very well all together. And from there, I'm going to add in my mozzarella cheese. And then I'm going to mix. And then I'm going to add my sharp cheddar cheese. And then I'll mix. Adding different cheeses is what's going to give it that rich, that cheesy, gooey texture. So if you wanted to even add Velveeta, you could do that too. Then the last thing of cheese I'm going to add is the Colby and the Monterey Jack. And then I'm going to save part of that cheese for the top. So I'm just going to add half of that and then I'm going to mix that as well. Now that we have all of our cheeses pretty much mixed together, the next thing that you're going to add in is your Cajun seasoning. And what I love about the Cajun seasoning is that it gives your macaroni and cheese a nice little kick to it. It makes it so rich. So from there, I just added it in and I'm just going to also mix that in with my cheese and my noodles. I'm also going to do my taste test to make sure that it has enough salt. So if I needed to go back and add some more, I could. And then I'm just going to top it all off with the leftover cheese that I have. You can put as much as you want. If you want it super cheesy, you can. I'm just going to use what I have left over. And you could also top some breadcrumbs on top of the cheese if you'd like. And that's just getting some panko breadcrumbs and just adding some olive oil to them and just sprinkling it on the top if you like that little crunch. But from here, it's just going to go into the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes depending on how you like it. Now we're coming up to 25 minutes and I took mine out a little early. You can always keep yours in longer. I would definitely do that if you want it to be more golden, or if you have breadcrumbs, those also need to be golden before you take out your macaroni and cheese. But what I loved about this recipe is how creamy it was, how cheesy it was, how beautiful the color was. And I'm pretty sure at the beginning you were thinking, that's a white macaroni and cheese. That's not macaroni and cheese. No, letting that cheese cook and letting it get mixed in there with the sauce and the noodles, that's what's going to bring in your color as it cooks. And you'll notice that as it cooks and as you're serving it, everything's going to come together. And I love that about this recipe. My kids love this recipe. My husband's love this recipe. I only have one husband, but he loved the recipe too. And I think that this is definitely one that I'm going to keep. And there you have it, you guys. Our macaroni and cheese is ready to be served, and it's ready to be made at your next Thanksgiving get-together. I hope you enjoy it and your family enjoys it just as much as mine does. And if you're new to my channel, welcome to my cooking family. I'm so glad that you're here. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already a part of my cooking family, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But until then, I'll cook with you later. Bye, guys.